everybody, I'm Mike.
And I'm Steve.
And this is the Fragrance Banter podcast. It's two friends. We're just catching up and sharing fragrances across the globe. Steve, how's it been?
Good, mate. How the devil are you? So what's it been? It's been 2 days? No, when did we speak? Yesterday?
That was 2 days ago. You're right.
2 days ago. There we go. But it's good. So that was a pre-episode, which we did just for the Patreons. And this is our first actual episode unos.
That's right. The very first episode. We should probably explain to people why we're doing this podcast, because you were on a podcast, I was on a podcast.
Correct.
And now we have this podcast.
I liked that pre-episode we did for the Patreon. Somebody described it as our origin story, which I really liked.
Right.
So we're not going to go into as much detail as that one, but it's probably worth us saying what the hell we're doing here, how this came about, why you're not doing the Cologne podcast anymore. And yeah, so do you want to start?
Well, I think the easier story is why you're not doing the Scent Geeks podcast.
The Scent Geeks podcast. So yes, people may know me from the Scent Geeks podcast. I did that with Chris Fragmental. Fragmental is his surname now, I've decided. Everybody knows him as Chris Fragmental. That is it. So I did that. That finished a good couple of years ago. 3 years ago? I don't know. It's a while ago, you know. So yeah, Chris and I did that for a while. We did about 100 episodes and that was good fun. But it's sort of, Chris got kind of busy and it's just kind of run its course. So we sort of we wanted to leave on a high rather than drag it on and just, you know, lose all enthusiasm. So we sort of finished on a high. We got some guests on for our last episode and we sort of did it live and things, which was pretty cool. But that was a few years ago. So
that was your 100th episode, right? You guys had a big 100th episode. 2 years in.
Exactly that.
You guys put in the effort.
Yeah, well, I mean, you did loads of episodes of the Cologne podcast. And if you're in the Patreon, you'll know why you're not doing that anymore. But literally,
right.
I announced that I was doing this podcast with you and someone's like, oh, what's going on here then? What's this all about? They were kind of confused because they've not followed the story and they've clearly not listened to the Origins episode. So
yeah, we were kind of having, according to the person who reached out to you, they were like, does Ryan know about this affair that's
yes.
been going on?
Yeah, basically you're a podcast slut, just appearing all these different.
Just briefly to explain, and again, we did like a full-blown 30-minute episode for the Patreons to really break down what happened. But in essence, the Cologne podcast, it was put on permanent hiatus because Ryan is the uncle of my wife, who I am separated from and am in the process of getting a divorce from. And so he, like many people would do, chose to try to show his support and allegiance to his blood family. And because of that, we had to basically put an infinite pause on the Cologne podcast. And I still have love for Ryan. And I enjoyed the 300 and some odd episodes we did with the Cologne podcast. But because of that, I sat around for a month and I just had a podcast shaped hole in my heart. And that's when you and I started chatting about, you know what, let's keep the thing alive. You love podcasting. I love podcasting. You love me. I love you. Let's just do a podcast
Let's
together.
keep the bromance going.
Exactly.
Well, that's exactly it. So I don't want people thinking I've done Ryan dirty either. So, you know, he was top bloke. So I'm not trying to replace him. I'm not trying to be him. This is a separate new podcast, which a few people might struggle to get their head around. Yeah. But it is that. And yeah, it's just us kind of catching up. I think this would be good for me because I've been in the fragrance community for quite a while and I sort of enjoy podcasting. As I say, I enjoy your company. And I think this would be good for you as well in your kind of mental health because you've got so much out of that podcast. So hopefully you'll get a lot out of this one as well. So I think it's a good positive thing all round. And obviously Ryan has essentially given us his blessing for this podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you know, there's no animosity. Everyone's happy. So that's that. And let's let's move on. And what else should we say about this podcast? This is all the preface. You're not going to get this every episode, by the way. You know, but the episode 1, we've got to set the scene, haven't we? We've got to
yes. There's a little character development we've got to build up here.
Yes, like what our story arc is. I think it's I might be the villain in the piece. Who knows? But
no, I don't think so. I'm definitely the villain in this.
So, but what we want to do, I mean, obviously, we're going to find a feat. So things will change. So don't judge us too harshly on episode 1. You know, things will change and develop, and we'll keep doing what works and maybe not do what doesn't.
Right.
We want to catch up we want to kind of check in with each other, don't we? See, like, you know, mental health is a big part of both our lives. We're sort of quite a big advocates for that, and physical health as well. So there'll be a bit of that scattered in there. But of course, there's going to be some fragrance chat. But we want it to be fun. We don't take it too seriously. We're not like some people in the community that are really, you know, a bit too serious for our liking. So we want to keep it fun. We want to, and hence why the name, a bit of banter. We want to have a laugh, talk about fragrance, and just hopefully make it relatable and digestible.
Yeah, 100%. I think the thing about this podcast is that the origin of your and I friendship, it did start with fragrances, but you and I would check in with each other almost daily, if not daily, to say, how are you doing? Are you still counting your calories? I know that, you know, losing weight was a thing to you. And are you still going on the runs? Are you still working out? Or, you know, we would check in and just see how each other was doing. And so that is really kind of the birth of this podcast, was really the building our friendship around just making sure you're doing good, I'm doing good. We would share information about fragrances that, you know, we were smelling or excited about. But all in all, this podcast will be just a podcast form of our friendship that we've kind of built along that way. So the things that are important to us, like you said, is making sure that like our mind is in a good place. We're trying to get our bodies into a good place. And of course, we want to smell good while we're doing all that.
That's exactly it. Healthy minds, healthy bodies, and healthy smells. That sounds weird.
So I actually think that's a good segue into what this episode is, because just talking about, you know, obviously I'm currently separated from my wife. So when I was packing up, I had limited space because I'm kind of bouncing around right now. I'm not like, I don't have my own place yet. So I'm still kind of a transient human. And so I had to pack a suitcase, and I couldn't exactly throw 30 bottles of fragrances in there. I'm like, I need room for underwear and, you know, at least a couple pairs of pants. So I ended up just grabbing one fragrance.
Wow.
And I was like, I'll sort the rest out later.
2 whole pairs of pants. God, you're getting greedy, mate. You could have got a second fragrance. You could.
Yeah, that's true.
You could get one pair. You could wear them normal, back to front, inside out, normal, inside out, back to front. There's 4 wears out of one pair there. I mean,
yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, that's what you do with your underwear as well, right?
To be fair, this is the thing. So you've said pants, and this is straight away, we've highlighted this divide across the ocean.
Okay.
Because pants in the UK is like boxer shorts, like undergarments.
Oh, that's right. You go trousers for what we call pants, right?
So straight away, with episode 1, we've walked straight into a divide of language where I said pants, and you were like, "Whoa, you're talking about trousers?"
Okay,
like that's what in the UK is trousers, is pants. But like, yeah, this is the thing. So I was talking about like your boxer shorts, your undergarments,
gotcha.
Briefs. What do you call them? What do you call?
Yeah, boxer briefs is what I currently am wearing. You get the support and the comfort.
I love that. Episode 1, they're like, what did they talk about? What underwear they're wearing? A bunch of pervs or what? What's going on?
Oh my goodness.
So there we go. Anyway, I sort of rudely interrupted you. So carry on.
No, you're good. Yeah. So just the one bottle, well, the one fragrance I basically had an overnight bag that had a bottle of this fragrance. And then the day that I left, a box had come in, and I think it was a Patreon episode, but literally Ryan and I were talking about said fragrance, and I was like, oh my God, it's on sale. I'm buying a bottle right now.
Wow.
And a few days later, I'm moving out, and that bottle had arrived the same day. So I just grabbed the box. And so I have the specific bottle that I'll show in a second. I don't know if the Patreons get this video or not, but we'll talk about the fragrance and I'll show the bottle of it. But then I also have a big, juicy, unopened bottle as well.
Wow. So you're good. You're good to go. So, I mean, the Patreons and a lot of people, they will know what this fragrance is, surely, because you only mentioned it every fucking episode on your last podcast. And we've got a big spiel about, let's make it new. It's got to be a new podcast. You know, we're breaking away. And straight away, episode 1, we're talking about that same fragrance.
Oh, there we go. See, this is already the foundation of a good friendship. You're already calling me on my shit. Well, I think before we get into this, let's pull up, because we had asked the Patreons this same question. If you were confined to only one fragrance for the month, what would you choose?
So let's see what these Patreons are wearing. Perhaps we should just judge them. Perhaps we should just be really harsh and just go in
Yeah,
and
100%.
just slate them and go, what the hell are you doing wearing that shit?
I mean, some of these I haven't smelled, but we'll start off. Dr. K said Dior Eau Sauvage EDT or Tom Ford's Grey Vetiver.
Ooh, I missed the Eau Sauvage. I thought he was just going fully basic. I mean, yeah, both absolute classic gentlemanly fragrances there. Good choices. So Joe said Cowboy Grass or Scent Vetiver. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Are those DS and Durga fragrances, maybe?
I don't know.
That's what they kind of sound like. David said Percival for summer, Leighton for winter. And Percival, that is a very safe bet.
That is safe. I'm not a huge fan of Percival, but I do love Leighton, so I'm with you on that one.
Yeah,
Leighton
same.
is definitely up there. I mean, Leighton you could probably wear through the summer, but it's probably just a little bit sweet, isn't it?
Yeah, that was kind of early on in our friendship too, because you were talking about, God, what was it? Alexandria's version, Royal Equestrian?
Shout out to them for that, because that made me. I mean, that is a sidebarring here, but that is a great example of where clones can do their thing, because I never smelt Leighton before. I smelt Royal Equestrian from Alexandria Fragrances, loved it, fell in love with it. I thought it was gorgeous. I still own it. I've owned another bottle of that, but in the end, I bought a full bottle of Leighton retail because I felt like I owed it to myself. I love the fragrance so much. So that is a great example of where clones can do a good thing. They introduce you to a fragrance at an affordable level, and then when the time's right, you buy the full real deal. Works well. Yeah,
with the people who are afraid of clones, it doesn't always steal the purchase from the actual fragrance brand. John said Amouage Diaman. Have you smelled that one?
I never smelt that. I've not smelt that much Amouage. Wade says Dior Fahrenheit EDT. Not a huge fan of Dior Fahrenheit.
That's kind of a strong, manly one. Cynthia BR540 X Straight, which that one's great. I was wearing that in the summer a few years ago and loved it.
Well, we discussed in the pre-episode, the Origins episode, that you had a blatant disregard for temperature. So you would just wear the strongest, sweetest fragrance in 104-degree Texan heat. So, that's the sort of, I mean, you are a fragrance cowboy, no pun intended.
100%.
Javi says ADG Perfumo. Good choice. Very good choice.
Yeah. Tor says something sentimental. He'd go for Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce, purely for the memories of the old Daily Driver.
Bill A says Imagination by LV. Can't go wrong with that. And Chorizo, depending on how you pronounce your Spanish. Arnie from Nishane or Nishani.
Yeah.
Again, another good choice. I was a bit disappointed with the performance of Arnie.
Really?
Yeah. Smelt really good, but I was just like, for the $1, I just wanted it to be more noticeable.
Okay.
I mean, this is potentially where we might complement each other in the sense that you like subtle things, don't you? Where I like to smell it.
Yes.
I'm not into big, strong, oody fragrances, but the fragrance, I want it to be quite often clean and simple, but I want it to be noticeable.
Speaking of clean and simple, Stephen had said L'Homme Sport Eau Extreme, which, yes, sir. That is a good one.
Yeah. I prefer the original L'Homme Sport, actually, if I'm being honest. The Eau Extreme, sounds like I'm just slacking off all these fragrances. Eau Extreme I like, but I don't know what it is. There's a note in there that doesn't sit right with me. It's a bit more in the dry down. And then Sauvage EDT from Victor. So yeah, again, super safe. I mean, before we got into yours, if I had to pick if anybody's ever followed my YouTube channel, I would go for Le Labo's Another 13, because that is my all-time favorite, but it's just super, super versatile. It's really clean, fresh, performs well, any situation, and it's just a good. I'm about to finish my second 100ml bottle of it, so I've done nearly 200ml of that fragrance.
Wow.
Yeah. Trouble is, it's not cheap, and there's no. It's got that special sauce in it, and I can't find a clone that does it. It's got to be the original. That
as your daily driver, were you wearing that quite a bit, day after day after day?
So I discovered it at like a Christmas party. Somebody was wearing it at my work's Christmas party, and I just had to buy a bottle after that. And then I used that first bottle really quickly because I was pretty much wearing it solidly every day.
Yeah.
I just in love with it. is just so nice.
You smelled it on a lady too, right?
That's exactly right. Good memory. Yeah, we were walking we met up. We were in this sort of quite posh hotel. We met up in the bar area. We were walking from the bar area to where the meal was, and I was following this scent trail behind me. And initially I was pissed off that they smelled better than me. I was really annoyed about that.
Do you remember what you were wearing that night?
I'm trying to remember now. I think I wore Hafez 1984 by Alexandria, which is an original creation, but it does smell a lot like red tobacco.
Yeah.
But a much better version of. So I was wearing that thinking that smells good, it's strong, it's noticeable. And all I could smell was that scent. And I thought it was a guy in front of me. And I was like, damn, I'm so annoyed. Like, he's like smells better than me. And I followed this scent. And then I got through and I started talking to him and his partner, and it became evident that it was his partner that was wearing the scent. So I spoke to her about it, asked her what it was. She told me, and later on in the evening, I brought it up again. I was getting a bit weird and creepy about it, to be honest. It was a bit, probably I went a bit, I try and keep the fragrance hobby to me, but I was going a bit heavy on it, and I kept saying how good it smelled. And she actually sprayed someone. I wore like a waistcoat, like a three-piece type suit, and like the next day I got home and I could still smell it, and I just kept smelling it. I was like, you know what, I've got to buy it, but it's so expensive.
Yes, that is the problem with the Le Labos, right?
Yeah, but just if you've not smelled another 13 from Le Labo, just in case you go and smell it and now there's a big anticlimax, it is a very simple kind of fragrance. I've struggled to describe it actually, even though I'm into it and it's one of my favorites, but it's quite clean. It's a bit sort of fruity, but it's kind of ethereal in this sort of, Moleculo 1 style, but there's just something really nice about it. But I can see, again, with a lot of the Le Labo fragrances, they are quite simple. So again, from the price point, you could smell them. Like, I love Bergamot 22, but you could smell it and go, well, it's quite a simple fragrance and it's a hell of a lot of money.
Right.
A bit like Louis Vuitton, to be honest. So I can see why people, but for me, another 13, it's just got that magic thing. Absolutely gorgeous. Anyway,
we recently smelled it towards the end of the Cologne podcast, and for me, it kind of smelled like when you buy like bubbles with the bubble wand for your kids, and you first get the foil off the top and you like reach in and you have to like save the wand from drowning, and you get a little bit of that, like the bubble solution on your hand. To me, that's what it smells like.
Fair. It is a bit sort of clean. It's like a posh hotel type sort of clean, soapy kind of thing. It's got these aroma chemicals in it, so it's not like ambroxany, but it's like that as well. So it's kind of so gorgeous. Love it. I think we should probably get on to what your thing, which everybody knows what it is. So come on, let's do the big. Well, it's not a big reveal. Let's do the obvious reveal.
Yeah. If you followed for any time, I've got. I don't know if you can see this, Steve.
Ooh.
I've got this bottle of Luna Rossa Carbon, and I have absolutely been drinking this stuff.
For the people that can't see this, as it's an audio platform, there is the tiniest little amount in the corner of the bottle. So yeah, he is absolutely vintage. What size is that bottle? 150?
Yeah, 150 ml.
Damn.
Well, to be fair, I started with about half. So maybe it was about 50 to 75 mil in here. And I've been spraying the hell out of it. This is one of the fragrances that I overspray.
Okay.
And I just spray the hell out of this fragrance. And I love it. And that's the reason why I grabbed it, knowing that, well, I didn't know how long, because I'm a month in now of being separated. I didn't know how long this would be before I'd go back and get some more of my things or whatever. So I was like, I need to pick a fragrance that I know I'm not going to get tired of. This for sure was one. And clearly, like you had pointed out, I mean, I just have been beating this drum for a couple of years now. Yeah,
you really have. And it does smell like Sauvage as well. So we started this brand new podcast, which we're trying to promote as a brand new podcast, innovating the fragrance community. We're talking about a fragrance that's how old? God knows how many years old. That smells like Sauvage.
God, did it come out in 2017 maybe?
And it's a fragrance that you've spoken about God knows how many times. Yeah, it's a nice strong start out of the blocks for us, isn't it? To be fair, it is a gorgeous fragrance. I've got some strips actually.
Oh yeah, I'm going to spray it too.
Because I used to own it. I finished, probably similar to you, I had a 100ml bottle. I think I finished 75ml of it before I sold it. I moved it on just to tidy up some space. And it is gorgeous.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of strips with it on because I went into a department store earlier and I knew we were going to be doing this, so I sprayed some. But I do know it really well. I featured it in numerous YouTube videos and stuff. It's gorgeous. I used to describe it as the best smelling Sauvage-like fragrance.
Right, yeah.
And I just said it's like Sauvage, but it's kind of got that the lavender is amped up, which makes it quite clean. And there is that sort of metallic earthiness to it. But I just think it's that lavender amped up, and it sort of cuts down a bit of the ambroxan as well. But it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous scent.
Yeah, for it being like this simple designer, clean type thing, there is some personality to it. And I can smell the difference. I mean, it's similar, but I can smell the difference quite a bit between this and Sauvage. And I do love that this one doesn't go to the difficult place that Sauvage does for me. Because, I mean, the first bottle of Sauvage I bought, by the way, was Elixir, which is insanely loud. That's might be one of the loudest fragrances I've ever gotten. And it's quite a departure from the other Sauvages.
Yeah. God, I feel like I've said this a lot already in this episode, but I'm not a big fan of the Elixir version because there's this licorice note that I'm not a fan of licorice, and I kind of get this licorice accord, which is not for me. My favourite version of Sauvage is a bottle I've got here. I'll put to the camera. I don't know if anybody's ever going to see this, but is the Parfum version of Sauvage. I picked this up recently. If you follow me on Instagram and all that and YouTube, I was clearing out some samples from my bathroom, and this was one of the samples. I sprayed it on my arm, and I just forgot how good it was. It's really, really good, and I ended up buying a bottle. It's just what I love about that version of Sauvage is it's they've dialed down the ambroxan. I don't think it's even listed officially.
Wow, okay.
But it's just a bit fruity, but it's just, I love this nice subtle sweetness to it. It's just gorgeous.
I might need to actually smell that, because the bottle, other than the Elixir, I bought the EDT, which I tend to like we mentioned earlier, I like the lighter type fragrances. I really don't need like powerhouse fragrances. So I got the EDT, and, you know, I guess I'm assuming it's ambroxan, but at the end of it, it got to a point where I just couldn't wear it. Like if I was going to be out. So I was wearing it at the gym because I could wear it for an hour, enjoy, you know, kind of the start of that. And then I'm, you know, stripping my clothes off and throwing them in the hamper because they're sweaty and nasty, and I don't want to smell the end of that fragrance.
Somebody in the Facebook groups, and this sums up what you're saying, I said the same thing, that I find a lot of the Sauvage in that it gets choky. And he said, yeah, I love it until I hate it. So it's like you're wearing it, and it is that. You love it, and you're like, and then all of a sudden you're like, this is annoying me now. It's like in my throat.
Yes.
But that's what I like with the Parfum version. It's a bit fruitier. They've really dialed down the ambroxan, and it's not choky. I really like it. It's quite clean. It's a little bit sweet, but not too sweet. I'm really enjoying the Parfum version. So it's obviously been out a while. It got mixed reviews when it came out because people said it didn't perform, but I think it performs really well. So I would just say, if you've not smelt it for a while, revisit it when you're in store. Give it a whiff, because I think
definitely need to.
It's a really good version.
Yeah, even though it feels played out, I feel like even just having Luna Rossa Carbon, even if it smells similar, just making sure you're not saying I'm wearing Sauvage, I feel like is a win as well. Because so many people are saying Sauvage.
Nobody wants to smell like Sauvage, but yeah.
We do have a story though. Remember, we were on the little trolley in Milan.
Do you call it a trolley? I love that. So yeah, it's like an underground, wasn't it? We went into the sort of the underground station, so like a tube underground train, and I think we'd all got on it, didn't we? And we sat down either side, so there was like 5 or 6 of us, pretty much. But this guy walked through the middle, didn't he? Like a local Italian guy. He walked by, and we all basically turned ahead. We were like, fucking hell, he smells really good. And then it all hit us that he was wearing Sauvage. We were like, that's really annoying. Travelled the world to go to a fragrance event. We're all fragheads wearing this like uber niche shit, and this guy walks through us in Sauvage, and we all turned our head going, damn, that's annoying.
Yeah, and it still smells so good.
It does.
I've just did a quick little list of pros and cons, I feel like, for taking the Einstein approach, right? Because he was like wearing the same outfit every day. So I was like, what are some pros and cons to spending this month with just one fragrance without an option of another one? So first of all, I don't know that I could have forced myself to do it if I had the option. I probably wouldn't have done it. But since I didn't have an option, here's some pros, and tell me if these resonate with you, or if you feel like there might be something else that you could see that you might go, oh, you know what, this would work. But The first one I have is like, you don't have that decision fatigue that sometimes you go like you just sit there and you stare at however many bottles and you go, what the hell am I going to wear today?
I've got a question for you on this, actually. I thought about this the other day. If you've got something coming up, like an event, like say you've got a party or you had, I don't know, like July 4th and stuff, like say you were going to something, how quickly do you then go, oh, in your head, what fragrance am I going to wear? Like, that's quite high on the list. Like I often think about the fragrance before the outfit. Do you know what I mean? That's
for sure.
It's like, oh, and then I'll mull it over for a few days, be like, I don't want something quite sort of sexy and powerful. Do I want to be a bit more, just laid back, and that sort of, it's really wanky, but it's like, and then so that's when it's quite a formal thing. Or sometimes, like you say, on a day to day, it's like, if you don't know what the weather's going, if it's going to be warm or this, that, and the other, you go to your cupboard, open it up. I've got, I don't know how, like 100 odd fragrances, and you're like, oh God, and then there's times where I'm stood there and I'm smelling caps trying to decide. Yeah. And there's also been times where I've picked one, sprayed it on, and then regretted it and gone, oh no, and I've gone and washed it off and changed the fragrance.
Yeah. I've like switched shirts or whatever, just be like, whatever, That has been a bonus. Not that I've spent like hours choosing, but it's just nice to just grab the bottle, spray it, and go.
Yeah.
The thing that and we've talked about this a lot, and I think this would be a great episode to kind of touch on, but also I've been thinking about creating scent memories and having a signature scent. And it's really hard to do that when you're constantly swapping fragrances. And so there is a benefit now, because I'm trying to be more social now that I'm kind of on my own. I'm being around friends more. And now I'm getting that sort of, oh, this smells like you, or this sort of a thing, because I'm like wearing this fragrance over and over and over again.
I get that. My wife has said that the biggest things she dislikes about me being into fragrances, and since I've sort of really kind of gone down this rabbit hole, is nothing smell like. I used to have signature scents like Armani Diamonds, for example. I wore on our wedding day. I used to wear that a lot. So that, she knows that smells like me. So she says this now, that, nothing smells of you. Interestingly, another 13, she says smells like me now. And that's become like my signature. But that is a big thing, that she just wants that familiarity, that comfort in a reassuring scent that she's familiar with, because it smells like me and it reminds her. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm kind of obsessed with trying to figure that out and kind of boil down. I don't have like a very big collection, but even still, constantly trying to boil it down. And I tend to give away fragrances after a while that I should probably sell them because you have money in them, but I tend to just try to find a few. So the idea of like creating that signature scent is big on my mind. And then kind of the last one I put for pros is you get like a really good understanding of how the fragrance does with you, because I haven't recognized this before, because I just haven't wore the same thing around other people. I've been wearing this one and I saw the same person 2 days in a row, and they gave me a hug. And on the second day, they said, what is this fragrance? And I said, it's the same one as yesterday. And they said, oh, it smells different, which I thought was interesting.
That is interesting.
Because, I've never had that type of feedback before, where the same fragrance can smell different on whatever particular, it could be the weather. It could be, it's like sweating one day versus not the other. I don't know, but I thought it was interesting that they thought that, the same fragrance was a different fragrance. So learning kind of how this performs on my skin has been interesting. This is like a little science experiment.
I've had it a few times where my wife has smelt something, said she liked it, and then I've worn it another time and she's like, I'm not enjoying that fragrance or whatever. It's like, oh, interesting, because you said you liked this before.
Oh, yeah.
And another fragrance I sort of brought into my little recording studio, because I knew we were talking about Sauvage DNA, was Coach Green. So I'm just showing that to the camera now. I really like Coach Green. That smells like a fruity version of Sauvage. It's got like a kiwi note in it if you've not smelt it. Again, definitely worth a smell if you're going into a department store, because it's quite affordable as well. So it's kind of it's like a fresher Sauvage. It's got a kiwi kind of notes in it, which is really quite pleasant. And then it's just quite a clean, fresh version of Sauvage, which I really like. And I took this on holiday, and my wife, I think she's definitely complimented on that and said I smelt nice. But then I wore it, I got a second bottle of it actually, and I wore it more recently, and she was like, don't know if I'm liking that fragrance. I was like, funny, because you did. So I don't know if they've reformulated it, it's changed, or she's just different time of day or whatever. But yeah, I can relate to that.
Catching it also further, like whatever, if it's into the dry down and maybe like they like it early on in the fragrance and they've caught it later. And
that definitely happens. There's been fragrances where I know they develop and change, but yeah.
Well, I've got a couple of cons as well for wearing the same fragrance every day.
Go on then.
The first one, as you can imagine, is you feel like you go through your fragrances so fast that way.
Definitely. I mean, I've rinsed through another 13, but I didn't care. Like, that's the thing. I must admit, what was nice with that, I had such a big bottle, I didn't hold back. As much as I love it, I didn't want to hold back and go, well, I'll only do a little bit. I've gone heavy on it. But right. I think...
Yeah, they're made to be worn.
I think the big thing for me, I don't know if this is coming on your list, but a big negative for me would definitely be, well, probably the flip of the positive, in the sense that just not having that versatility. So if it's a warmer day, I would go for something fresher or lighter. Or if I'm going to an event, or if sometimes I want it to last, so I'll pick a fragrance that I know lasts. Sometimes I'd be like, right, I'm only going out for a couple of hours, so performance isn't an issue. So I'll just go for this. Just that lack, and obviously everybody's screaming this. All these frag heads listening are going to be like, God, no. But yeah, I couldn't live with one fragrance. But yeah, that's got to be a con, surely.
Yeah, that was actually my next one. Well, a variation of that, which was the lack of variety to be able to make those type of judgment calls, to go, man, I really want something fresh today. And then go like, oh, I'd like something that's a little sweeter, a little spicier or something. During the day you go out, and then at night you're like, oh, I'm going to go to the movies with some friends. It would be nice to mix it up and have.
Definitely. Yeah. Were you at all scared? This is a kind of con, because I'd be scared that I might ruin the fragrance, like by wearing it too much.
Last one.
There we go.
That was, you feel like you will almost lose interest in like a favorite fragrance if you wear it too much. That actually happened to me with a Ventus. I wore it to a point where I started going, every time I smell this, it smells cheaper and cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. And it's the same bottle. But I got to a point where I just was like, now it just smells really screechy. I can't get past the opening. And I got to a point where it actually kind of nauseated me to spray it, because I was just kind of smelling.
Well, I did kind of have that with Luna Rossa Carbon. I used a lot of it. I used to wear it a lot. And then I didn't wear it for a while, and I wore it a few times. And I just thought, I'm just not enjoying it as much as I used to. So I just thought I'd free up some space on the shelf, really. I
haven't fallen out of love with it yet. I still absolutely love it. And if you're listening and you haven't smelled it, it's one that I would almost bet you'd like it if you just want something clean and simple and on the fresher side. It is a very versatile fragrance. Now, I'm not saying it's the only one you'll ever wear again, but, but the last 30 days have been pretty good with this bad boy.
I mean, it is definitely a compliment getter. I remember there's a couple of friends, somebody posted on my Facebook group, a friend who's not a frag head, I know him through doing stand-up comedy and stuff. He posted and he tagged his friend in, because he'd been asked, or somebody had tagged him, and then he responded, and they were like, what, another comedian, he was like, what was that fragrance? So I think he might have even said aftershave or whatever, I don't know. But like, what were you wearing? That was incredible. And he just said, oh, it was Prada Carbon or something. And I was like, let me just correct you. Actually, this is Prada Luna Rossa Carbon. But yeah, so even these two muggles, as Chris Fragmental and I used to call them, they just recognised that this smell, it's compliment getting. And the guy went and bought the fragrance. So it is absolutely mass appealing fragrance. It's lovely.
When we first started the Cologne podcast, I would always get friends that would go, which one should I get? What should I get? This was the one I would always tell them. Or like, I worked with a company in my day job that had a bunch of ladies that worked there, and they'd always say, like, around like their husband's birthday or something like that, oh, what should I get him? And this would be the one that I would always say. And then later I'd check with them and they go, oh, he fucking loved it. It was amazing. So it seemed to be highly received.
Quick question. Do you think it's unisex?
That is a good question.
Like, because of that amped up lavender, if you actually smell it and imagine smelling that on a lady, I think it would work quite comfortably.
I agree with you, because there's been times I've smelled a Ventus, not a Ventus for her, but there were a couple of gals that I worked around that would wear a Ventus on themselves, and I loved it. I thought it smelled amazing. And this is even, I would say, less like leaning masculine than that. And so, yeah, I do agree. I think this would smell great on anybody, really.
So there you go. Episode 1, we've spoken about Sauvage and 7-year-old fragrance that we've spoken about 1,001 times. Innovators, that's what we are.
Yeah. Well, we might as well. We're building the foundation for people who, if you haven't followed us in other arenas, then at least we're getting the common recommended out of the way.
Well, I think what's nice with us is we call it as it is. So my day job, if you don't know me, I work in sales. I'm a sales manager, so I'm often out seeing customers, and you've obviously got like a customer facing role as well. So similarly, sometimes you don't want some weird smelling oody barnyardy. I've always joked that I don't want to smell like a camel's testicles or whatever. I want to smell just mass appealing. Do you know what I mean? I want to smell good and clean, and I don't want to turn people away. I want just people to come to me and enjoy that experience. So so I love these style of clean, fresh, mass appealing fragrances. But the challenge is trying to find these clean, fresh, mass appealing fragrances that are not too ubiquitous and that are a bit unique. And that is the challenge, trying to find a unique shower gel fragrance. That's tough.
Yeah, something that like says something about you. It's not just generic, which by the way, speaking of camel's testicles, we do have a couple Patreons that have asked for us to cover some zoologist fragrances. So we'll get to some of those as well. We will hit the wild and crazy ones. But as far as it goes, I do want to find, and I'm always on a mission. I feel like you're the same way because you've like in the past have labeled yourself a basic bitch when it comes to fragrances.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm always trying to find that sort of clean, fresh, non-offensive, has a little bit of attitude, a little bit of personality, but isn't just...
a bit of uniqueness.
Yeah, but not just overly difficult to get around.
I don't want a fragrance to be challenging. And I guess a lot of people don't, but they want it to be, different. So I can appreciate sometimes you smell a fragrance as an art and you go, that's really impressive, but do I want to smell like it? And that's often the challenge I have. There's a lot of fragrances I really like. I often have this with like cinnamon-based fragrances, like sort of gourmandy ones. I love the smell of them. I'd happily smell them all day long. I'd spray it on the back of my hand and keep smelling it. It's gorgeous, but I don't want to smell of it, which is defeats the purpose of a fragrance. But yeah, that sometimes is a challenge.
So where are we headed as a podcast? Just to give a roadmap into episode 1. What can we absolutely put a stake in the ground and say, this is what you can expect from this podcast?
I mean, I was going to say I've probably headed to people's delete list, but
the unsubscription list. Yeah.
I think what I would like is it to be appealing to people that are into fragrances, but also, people that aren't really into fragrances. They like smelling good, and it's a different type of podcast, so they could enjoy a bit of banter and enjoy a bit of fragrance and kind of just give them a few ideas and a few thoughts. That's what I think. And what's nice with this one as well, we're going to build it around the community aspect as well. We're fortunate enough that a lot of the patrons from the previous podcast, the Claim podcast, are kind of joining us on this journey. So we've got a really strong community behind us. So we can use that to our advantage and engage with them and, work with them to create stuff that they want to listen to, but make a better podcast as well,
Yeah, and it's just a selfish excuse for us to hang out and chat and have a little fun.
Oh, exactly. And then also, I guess we've got to do some promotion here. Like, if you do want to, we are obviously going to do a lot of these. We're planning on doing little video clips because we're going to be recording videos and stuff. So you can find us on like Instagram, YouTube, probably TikTok eventually, even though we're way too old for that. But
we're not going to be dancing or anything. But
yeah, fuck it. Yeah, let's start dance on these videos. So we're going to clip some stuff up on there just so you can see our stupid faces. Do go and follow us, and as I've mentioned, we do have a Patreon as well, which is Fragrance Banter, which you can kind of join. There is a free tier, but there's some paid tiers to join the community and kind of get involved in stuff and do lives and all sorts, and there's extra content in there just for the sort of paid members. But you did used to push the Patreon way too hard.
Yes,
on the last one.
This is a complaint that you had.
A turning point for me was when I think, I'm not going to say who said it, but I think there was a point where someone said, if you're not a Patreon member, you can fuck off or something.
Oh yeah,
like that, or fuck you.
That was me.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, you know what? That's harsh.
Well, obviously that was a little
tongue in cheek.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. No, it's if you're looking for a fun community that isn't so high strung or stuffy, we kind of created that in the Patreon. But again, no pressure. We'll be putting up episodes for free. But if you're looking for a little bit more interaction and more people that are kind of like-minded, that do enjoy this fragrance thing, but aren't going to be assholes about it, then we've got a great community there.
Genuinely, it's a really cool community. They're really lovely. So also thank you guys for your support on this sort of new venture that we're doing. And thank you for kind of welcoming me into there. But they are a really cool bunch. And there's other things in there as well, like they talk about health and stuff again. And it's just a really cool bunch. So I think that's a big aspect. You know, we can say there's extra episodes and extra content, but actually, if you start engaging with that community, I think that's kind of worth it because they're a really cool bunch.
Yeah. And you know what, just to kind of sum up this and the podcast moving forward, that is kind of where we're headed. And that's what I love about the idea of this podcast is it's more about being like a well-rounded human. Like we have like the health stuff and we have like peripheral type fragrance stuff, and people are just in there updating on life and getting some encouragement and support. And that's kind of what we want with this too. Like we said earlier on in the episode, it's like we want your mental health to be good. We want your physical health to be good, and we want you to smell good.
There you go. So that's episode 1.
Yeah.
Hopefully you enjoyed it. As I say, don't judge us too harshly on episode 1 because it will get better, we promise. Or it could stay the same, or it could get worse. Those are your 3 options. You're only going to know if you keep listening. So, but thank you for supporting us on this new venture. And yeah, we can't wait. We're super excited.
Yeah. And until next time, stay healthy and spray healthy.